Right, we'll begin. Hello and thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Majid and today we're going to be going through how teachers would reward students with badges. Okay, so the agenda for today is to look at badges with Moodle and how teachers would set badges and how to use them effectively in Moodle. So badges are a great way of celebrating achievement with your students, and if used well, it's a good way of engaging students with Moodle. So once students do start using badges, you'll quickly realize that students will start competing with each other when using Moodle in order to gain badges within their user profile. So these badges are fully compatible with Mozilla Open Badges, which is an open source project, which means that these badges can be taken away by the student when they leave school as well. So they can push their badges that they achieve in Moodle into their Mozilla backpack, which is a global site which they can access after they leave school. So they can add these badges to their CV or resume, that kind of thing. And these badges can be awarded at site level. So if a student completes a course, you can award them a site badge. But we're going to be using a course badge today. So we'll be creating a badge within a course, and we're going to create a criteria for this badge, which the student will need to meet in order to be given this badge. You can choose to create a badge and issue this badge manually as well. So that's something that you can do, but it's better to create a criteria, and we're going to be using activity completion as well within Moodle. Okay, so within the walkthrough, I'll be going through and demonstrating how a teacher would create a new badge. And before we create this badge, we need to create some activity completion within our Moodle course. So that's something that we have to enable first of all at site level, and we also have to enable activity completion within our course. So that's the first thing we'll do, and then once we've got our badge set up, we're going to log in as a student and we'll go through and try and meet the criteria so that we can see if the student will receive this badge. Okay, so I'm just going to close this PowerPoint down and then use our demo Moodle site here. So you can see I'm logged in as a member of staff, a teacher, and I'm currently on the home page. If I go into my courses and click on geography, this is the course I'm going to be using today. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set up some activity completion so that we can use this activity completion as the criteria within our course. So what I mean by that is, so we're going to set some activity completion within these 4 activities. So what I want to do is I want my students to be able to mark these 4 activities as complete. As soon as they mark all 4 as complete, they then receive a badge. Okay, so we're going to create activity completion first of all. So within our course, we have a block called administration, and in here we have a link called edit settings, which takes us to the course settings page. So in order to use activity completion, we must make sure that the completion tracking option is enabled. So we can see that this option is enabled within this course. So that's the first thing you need to do within your course. Okay, so once you've got activity completion enabled, you can go back into the course. So if I just press the back button, that'll take me back to the course page, and now I need to edit each one of these individual activities and set activity completion. So to do that, we need to turn editing on, which is just at the top here. So once you've enabled editing, you can see that all of these activities are now editable. I can change the settings, etc. So I'm just going to go into the first one here, which is a web link. So I want the students to be able to mark this activity as complete themselves, so they'll be presented with a tick box, and I want them to be able to mark it as complete themselves. Same thing goes for this PowerPoint document here. So it's a PowerPoint document that I want them to download and view, but as soon as they download it and view it, I want them to mark this activity as complete themselves. And then thirdly, we have a quiz activity here. Now we're going to do something different with this one, in that as soon as the student achieves a passing grade in this quiz, this activity will be marked as complete automatically, so they won't have to tick a box or anything like that. They have to achieve a passing grade. Okay, so to do the first one, you just click on the Edit Settings button here, and then we can see the settings for this particular resource, which is a web link. And if I scroll down, we can see a heading called Activity Completion. Once you click this, you get some options, and the first option, we need to choose students can manually mark the activity as completed. So that's all we need to do. Okay, we can set an expected completion date on here as well if needs be. That's optional for you. You don't have to do that. But as soon as I hit save and return to course, if I go back down to the section, you can see now next to this activity we have like a tick box, which basically means the student must mark this activity as complete themselves. I'll do the same thing again for this PowerPoint document. So again, edit settings, and then if I scroll down, we've got the same heading, activity completion, and I'm just going to choose the same option again. So students can manually mark this activity as completed. Okay, so the other option is show activities complete when conditions are met. So those conditions we can set underneath here, but we're going to, for this one, we're just going to use the manual option. And then because the next one, the third activity, is actually a quiz, we should have some conditions that we can use. So this quiz task here, if I click on Edit Settings, again, it's just the activity completion heading that you need to use. And within this activity completion heading, we can see a few more options here. So if I click on show activity is complete when conditions are met, we can now use these conditions below. So the default one that's selected is the one that I need. So require passing grade. So the student must achieve a passing grade in order for this activity to be marked as complete. Now we can check the passing grade in the grade heading here at the very top. So if I click on grade, we can see the grade to pass is 60. So if my student achieves 60% or more within this activity will then be marked as complete. Okay, so I'm just going to do save and return to course. Okay, and then I'll do the last one as well. The last one is a SCORM package, a resource that they can go through. So I'm just going to make this complete, so they can sort of mark it as complete themselves manually. So again, activity completion, completion tracking, students can manually mark this activity as complete. So now in our course we have 4 activities which have activity completion set against them. So we can see those now. We can see there's tick boxes next to them. The one, the quiz activity, which has a dotted border around the checkbox, that basically means that there's the conditions, this activity will be marked when conditions are met, whereas the other 3 are manually marked activities. Okay, so next thing we need to do then is now create a badge, and when we create the badge, we need to set the criteria so that these 4 activities are complete in order for the student to receive the badge. So within the administration block, so every course rather has a block called administration, and in here we have an option called badges. And if I click on manage badges, I can see the existing badges that have been used. So I'm just going to create a new one. So add a new badge, and I'm going to give it a name. So I'm just going to call it the Geography Genius badge. Okay, and I'll just say this badge is awarded to Geography Geniuses. Okay, and then we can apply an image to a badge. So I have an image on my computer which I'm going to use, but you can create an image yourself using photo editing software, or maybe even download a photo from Google, a free to use one. So I'm just going to use what I have here. So I'm going to have a JPEG here which I want to use. So this is a mandatory field, so you have to add an image to a badge, and in issuer details you have to add the teacher name as well in here. So I'm just going to add the teacher name here, the teacher who teaches this course, and we also have an option called badge expiry. So sometimes you might want your students to redo this this course or this certain section within the course. So you can add an expiry date. For example, if you're doing a first aid course in Moodle, it may be an idea to expire the badge in a year's time or a couple of years' time, so that the student has to take it again in order to renew their certification, that kind of thing. So it can be used for those kind of purposes. So I'm just going to use never as the date for now, but you can choose a date to expire. So I'm just going to create the badge, and once we've created the badge, we then see the criteria tab. So under criteria, we can choose two options: either manually issue by role, so that'll allow teachers to be able to issue badges to their students, or we can use activity completion. So we don't have course completion set within this particular course, so we're going to use activity completion. And we can see now the next page that comes up shows you all the activities that have activity completion set against them. So there's 4 activities here. So I want students to be able to I want them to be able to mark all these activities as complete, and then they can receive this badge. Okay, so we can set deadlines for each one of these activities as well. So if you want them to have a go at the quiz before a certain date, you can enable that here as well. So I'll just set that to 30th of September. So I want them to do that by tomorrow. And then down here we have a heading. This criteria is complete when, and then we can see that we need to use the first option here, which is all of these activities are complete. So they'd only receive this badge once all of these activities are complete. And the other option is any. So if any of these activities are completed, the student will then receive a badge. So it's fairly simple. So once you do save, that will then add the criteria for you. So you can see the criteria. So activity completion, all of the following activities must be complete in order for this badge to be issued. And there is a message tab as well. So this is the message that the student will receive once they've earned a badge, and you can customize this here. So you might want to add like a video in here. You can add a video, you can add some pictures in here, you can add some more text, that kind of thing. So once you've customized this, you can save that down here, and once you're happy with that, it's just a case of enabling access to this badge. So that's the last thing that you want to do. It's very important. If you don't do this, then your students will not be able to receive this badge. So I'm just going to click enable access. Okay, and then click on continue. Okay, so we can see the badges has been enabled, and now we have the option to disable access. Under recipients, we can see that there's no one in this course that has been given this badge. Okay, so we have 16 users or students in this course. I'm going to log in as one of those students now, and then we will try and complete those 4 activities in order to achieve this badge. So I'm just going to log out and log in as a student who is a member of this course. So you can see that there's a tile here called Global Hazard, which takes me to the course, and if I go to my courses, I also have that course over here. So I'm now logged in as a student. I don't have the turn editing on button here, so I'm definitely logged in as a student. And if I scroll down, I can see these activities, and they're currently in yellow, so there's no activity. They've not been marked as complete. So let's say I click on this link. I've viewed this page before, I'm happy with it, I'm going to mark it as complete. So I've looked at this, and there's a PowerPoint document here. I've downloaded this, and I've had a look through it. I'm happy with that. And there's also a SCORM package here, which I can manually mark as complete. The quiz I cannot mark as complete. I have to actually take the quiz and achieve a passing grade, if you remember. So if I click on the quiz, I can see there's an option to attempt this quiz, and then providing I get 60% or more, I will pass this quiz. So this is the hardest bit. I'm not sure if I will actually get all these questions right. So I'm just going to randomly go through this. I'm pretty sure I'll do okay. So finish attempt. So this is a quiz I'm just finishing. So I've marked those other 3 activities as complete. Now, as soon as I hit submit all and finish, I'll receive my grade. If my grade is more than 60, which it is, I've received 7 out of 10, 65%. You can see in the corner now, Moodle has given me a message, so I can go to messages, and in my message I can see the teacher of the course here, and in the message you can see you have been awarded the badge Geography Genius. I can click on this badge and that will take me and show me the badge on a new page. So you can see this badge here. The student can download this badge as well, and they can then upload this badge into their Mozilla backpack to take away with them. So that's something that can be done. So they can see the criteria that they've met in order to achieve this badge. So that's what the student would see. And if I go to my profile for the student, so the user profile, there's a section called badges, and here you can see all the badges that this student has earned. So you can see this one here is the one that we just created, and we can click this and see the page we just saw earlier in terms of the criteria and if it expires, that kind of thing, and the option to download as well. So this is what the student sees. So I'm just going to log out and quickly show you how the teacher would see the students receiving these badges. So again, they have to go into the course. So if I go into the geography course here, and within this course we have a administration block like every course, and if I click on badges and manage badges, I can see all of my existing badges within this course. And now within the first one here, this is the latest one that we've added, we can see the recipients column has now a number 1 against it. I can click on the number 1 and that takes me to the recipients tab for this particular badge, and I can see that Jimmy Abbey is the first student in my course to receive this badge, and this is when he was issued this badge, and I've got the option to view the issued badge as well. Okay, so that's how badges work. If you do have any questions, feel free to email me. So I'm just going to present this PowerPoint again. So the next training webinar will be held on Thursday 13th of October, again 3:30 p.m, and we're going to be looking at how teachers would use the new homework plugin that's been made available in Moodle. So it's probably something that you guys have started using already. It's a new homework block which appears on the home page. So that's something that we'll be using to set homework and show you how teachers mark homework as well. So that will be on the 13th of October. So just a quick thanks for today. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening to this webinar. If you do have any questions, queries, feel free to email me. My email address is just in the middle there. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks a lot. Bye.